and pen or something out. We're going to mark this up. This is for you to keep. This is really important that we're not confused, okay? We have 45 minutes left, which should be okay, but I'm going to go a little quickly. So if you get confused, I'll ask, do you have any questions? And just ask questions at that time, okay? All right. Okay, really quickly, I think it's important to explain why we do this essay writing thing and why we take notes. Okay, so far you guys have been taking notes, in the handouts, and more or less you're really trying to retain everything that you know. But I mean, like by the end of the year, you're gonna have so much notes, you're gonna be really confused. What the heck do we do? Okay, taking notes is a lot like going to the supermarket and buying groceries, right? Just buying a bunch of stuff. Sometimes you're like, what am I gonna do with this? I don't know, but it's on sale. I'm gonna buy it, right? You buy it, you bring it home, then you like stock your fridge, stock your cabinets and stuff, right? And more or less, you're like, I gotta eventually use it, but I don't know how, right? But writing an essay is like cooking a fine meal, okay? You have to really understand the ins and outs of it. You have to understand what works together, okay? What makes sense, what tastes well, okay? And then you're gonna, somehow just try and follow the recipe. You're gonna cook it. It's gonna taste like crap, right? So that's normal. But over time, right, you're gonna learn from trial and error. Like, okay, well, I won't do this next time, right? And it's going to taste really awesome at the end of the year, okay? But you have to understand that when we start off, it's not good, right? Some of us are a little bit more natural and a little more experienced, but otherwise, that's kind of how we got to see essay writing. It's not just, oh, I know a lot of stuff. That's great. Can you do something with it? That's what we're asking, okay? All right, let's go ahead and read the top section. Let's go read up until the bolded. Okay, just right up until the bolded, just that non-bolded area, top, okay? I'm going to give you guys, 30 seconds. Read that. I don't need to read it to you. Mark up anything you think is important. Some things that you might have mistakenly have done in the past and you don't want to repeat again, okay? Okay, so it's kind of straightforward. Every FRQ is 35 minutes long. That's how it is in the real AP exam. That's how we do it in here. You have 5 minutes to plan, 30 minutes to write. Okay, 5 minutes of planning is not much, but it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. If you're just kind of like sitting there in paralysis and you're like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do for 5 minutes, and then like, oh, we gotta start writing. You start writing, like, it's going to turn out bad, right? It's like not following the recipe, basically, okay? 30 minutes to write. How many paragraphs do you write? 5 in 30 minutes. So on average, how many minutes per paragraph? 6, okay? Now, some are going to be faster, some are going to be, shorter and stuff. But think about, and paragraph is about at least, 5 to 8 sentences long, something like that, right? You're thinking, you're writing at the same time. There is no time to, like, sit there and ponder, like, how should I reword this, right? Like, there's none of that, okay? Any questions so far? David? Sinful language? Simple language. Simple language. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, okay? We'll get to that, yeah. Yes, cross out is what you want to do because you're like, that looks good. We don't have time for that, guys. Cross it out, move on, okay? It's really important that you write in past tense. This is a history class. It's really important you do not use I or we, okay? No first, second person. Third person is how we always do it because we are all historians, okay? So far, so good. Let's read the bold part together. To answer an essay question, you must first understand the question. The phrasing is sometimes troubling. because you don't know that vocabulary term or you're not quite sure what they're asking you to do. Okay, it's really important that you understand, right? So the 5 things to do in answering an essay is to read the question, read the question, read the question, read the question, read the question. Okay? Or the prompt, whatever, same thing. It's really important that you don't just say like, oh yeah, I get it. All right, let me just go now, right? Like you really digest it. Think through the prompt completely, okay? As it says here, underline the key words or phrases in the question or prompt. Have I told you to do that before? Yes, right? You will do that every single time you're given a prompt. Whether it's a practice one, whether it's a real one, okay? You have to do it. You have to train yourself to do it because you don't know if you're really understanding it until you're saying, oh, I remember this, or oh, I get this, right? Or else you're just kind of going to glaze over it, all right? Determine what the question or prompt is asking you to do. There's different kinds of essays we're going to be writing. Some essays are going to require you to evaluate. Some are going to require you to explain the cause and the effect. And you must say, this is the cause, this is the effect. Yes, you must be that clear. Okay. Also, comparing and contrasting. You have to be extremely specific to what the prompt asks you. If you just kind of describe in general, oh, it was like this and it was like this, but you don't say, these are the similarities and these are differences, you're missing out. You're not making it very clear for your reader. Okay. During your 5-minute brainstorm planning period, you want to jot down names, dates, terms associated with the prompt topic. So I'm going to shoot up a prompt. Okay, typically, right? And I'll say, all right, go. You have 5 minutes to plan. Okay, do not start writing. Just write down some of your facts that you understand and memorize and stuff, and then that's going to kind of organize itself into like a really rough outline, and then we're going to write. Okay, so you're putting together a really rough outline in 5 minutes, and then we're writing for 30. Okay, there's no time if you like steal any writing time of the 30 minutes to give more to your outline time because you're more comfortable that way. I understand that, but you understand like you're really taking away from your writing, which I would say most students do not finish their first essay. They don't get to that 4th and 5th body paragraph. They write like half the essay and like, I ran out of time, right? Like that's why I'm telling you, you gotta move, okay? Any questions so far? All right, here we go. Intro. Go ahead and read those bullet points for me by yourself. I'm gonna give you guys about a minute. Highlight, underline, circle things that you need to remind yourself of, and then I'm going to go over that with you in detail if you have any questions. Twenty seconds. Okay, any questions so far in the bullet points that we read so far? All right, as it says here, I have developed a simple formula for writing an intro paragraph. You use the following format for all essays, FRQs, not DBQs. Separate format for that in this class, okay? I gotta say this now. I mean, I bolded it, I capitalized, I'm like screaming at you on the paper, right? So, out of 30 of you guys, it's 28, right? 30. I would say, like, last year and then the year before that, we're anywhere from 15 to 20 on the first 2 essays. Like, they don't follow this format at all. Like, just like they just disregard it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I tell you follow and you don't follow, and it's very confusing for me, right? If anything, I feel like it's easy. Just do it. If you guys remember reading the survival guide, it says make sure you follow the format for essays. Like, yeah, that's what I've been saying all year. I'm saying this in the 3rd week of school, okay? The reason why we said we have 6 minutes on average per paragraph, right? Your intros should not take more than 2 to 3 minutes to write. The entire intro paragraph should not take more than 2 to 3 minutes to write, okay? And the reason why is because you want to save ample time for the bodies, okay? You want to have, at least 7-8 minutes per body. You want something like, like substantial. Okay, if you spend all your time, I had students do this, right? I had students like spend literally like 15 minutes on just an intro, right? Which means that they got an intro and half of their first body done, and that's all they got. Out of 5 paragraphs, they got 1.5 paragraphs done, right? And so you can kind of guess what grade they got on that one, right? And they get stuck in this. You really just got to push it, okay? So we don't have time to waste, and that's why I give you a very straightforward formula that if you literally just plug and play, right, you can crank out the intro paragraph and move on, get to the bodies, get to the meat of it, get to where you're really going to score your points, okay? All right, let's go ahead and go to our second sheets that you guys have, okay, the kind of structure outline thingy, okay? At the top, you have a prompt line, yeah? Prompt, okay? This is the prompt. Copy that down. This prompt, I would say, is easy mode, just to give you a heads up of kind of knowing, what to expect. This is easy, okay? It's also very simple, and it's a little specific, okay? It's a little specific. I would say the prompts that you're actually going to see on the actual AP exam and the ones I give you will be a little bit more broader, so you have more to talk about. This one's a little bit just kind of focused, because I don't want you guys to like, divert off course too much, right? I'll kind of keep you fenced in a little bit, all right? So, how many of us circled, underlined, highlight our key prompt terms? What I tell you, every time I give you a prompt, you got to do this, okay? You got to do this. It has to be a habit. I'm not going to be there on, May 13th to be like, guys, circle them. Like, I'm not going to be there, right? So, it's all you. All right, give me some key prompt terms. Hands, people. Okay, Vivian, yeah. Factors, okay? Tessa. Contributed, okay? Evelyn, yeah. Decline of feudalism. All right, good. I'm sure that's the whole prompt. Yeah, no. Okay, like these are keywords though, because if it changed to, let's say, the rise of feudalism, would that change what we're writing about? Completely. Okay, so make sure you understand this. Contributed. What's the definition for contributed? Define it for me. Added to, right? Provided for, okay? Helped, whatever, right? Provided for, added to. All right, good. So how did these factors, how did these causes happen, right? More or less, okay? So I think we understand the prompt because it's a very simple prompt. Understand that this prompt is asking you to identify. It's not asking you to compare and contrast, is it? No. Is it asking you to give a cause and effect? Okay. Not completely. Okay. If you put in some effects, that's good. Okay. But it is asking for the causes. Okay. What caused the decline of feudalism is essentially what it's asking. Okay. All right. This is not an evaluation prompt. This is more of a cause and effect prompt. Okay. All right, let's look at the bottom. Okay. It says intro paragraph, 5 to 6 sentences. This is how it's broken down. What, when and where, who, why, and then your thesis. Okay, so these are the things that you need to have for every single intro FRQ paragraph. Let me put this up here for you guys to look at. Okay, so if I am trying to do an intro paragraph for this particular prompt, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Don't write this down yet because I'll tell you what to write down. Okay, but in the first sentence, right? Give me a definition of feudalism. What is this thing, right? You have to assume that your grader, your reader, needs to learn from you. You have to explain it to them, okay? You can't say, oh, feudalism's like with knights and stuff. Like, thank you for teaching that person nothing, right? Like, you need to make sure it's substantial, okay? Secondly, okay, when did it happen? Years are important. Years are important. Where did it happen? If you cannot just say it happened in Europe. This entire course is about Europe. Of course it happened in Europe. Is it going to happen in Asia? No, okay? So make sure you talk about which region of Europe, certain countries in Europe, certain provinces in Europe. Okay, that's really important. Get specific. Okay, third thing. Okay, I don't have this on here, but maybe write this down. I typically want 2 to 3 big names. 2 to 3 big names for the who sentence. Okay, 2 to 3 big names. And the reason why is because then you're associating this major event, this major idea to these guys, and then it shows your grader like, oh wow, this person understands it's not just about one event, but many people are tied to this event. Okay? Good. Here we go. This is probably the hardest sentence besides your thesis to construct, because a lot of you guys are like, well, I just know the facts. I don't really know why it happened. Okay? You have to explain its significance. Why is always significant. In history, we always got to ask the question why. So, we're first introducing why was this idea or this system of feudalism even there? Why, right? Then, in our thesis, we're going to explain how do we get to the decline of it, okay? I understand the prompt says the decline. If you just go straight to the decline, yes, you're asking or you're answering the prompt. However, you're not really building up and understanding, well, this is what it was, and this is how it declined. You have to show that, okay? You have to show that, okay? So I'm going to give you guys about, 3-4 minutes. You're going to be in your groups and your pairs, whatever, okay, with people around you. I want you to just put bullet point facts on each of the lines. Fragments are fine. No, I don't need complete sentences in this top section up here, okay? In this top section up here, right? Whatever information that you have for what, when, who, where, why, and that stuff, just jot it down here, okay? We're doing that quick outline thing. Put your facts down. You're allowed to pull out your 2B, 2C notes for now, okay? However, on a real FRQ, no notes. That's what you got to study. You got to know this stuff, okay? For now, it's a luxury. Any questions? Let me know. Okay, remember you guys can work together. Plug and play, find those facts, put it in the right section. You got about another minute, guys. One more minute, okay?
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was in the Western Europe, but Spain, France,
Okay, finish up, please. Do the best you can.
So that's
Okay, let's just move on. I mean, I'm going to give you my example so that you guys have stuff to feed off of, to know you're right on track and stuff, okay? It's good that you guys are focused. Right? This is not easy stuff, but you're doing a good job, okay? All right, so I'm going to go sentence by sentence. So if I have anything up here that you didn't have in, that little section, that line, okay, just include it, okay? Here's my what. Okay, here's my what. First sentence. I'll just say this. Your intro paragraph should be strong. And I know I told you you only have 2 or 3 minutes to write the intro, but this is where we got to find the balance between being thorough but also being concise, okay? I'm going to give you an example. It's going to shock you a bit because it's like, oh, that's so full, right? And for now, you might not have a definition like this, but the point is when we get to other, okay, FRQ topics and stuff, you need to make sure it's very full, okay? You can't have this really like weak sauce starting off sentence, okay? So this is a complete, full response. I do not expect you to have something like this, okay? I actually put up this bold one because I think it's probably something more along the lines of what you're going to get, okay? Feudalism was the political social system of the early Middle Ages which operated at the local level in the absence of strong central governments, okay? So this would be like a pretty complete definition of what feudalism is. This is indicating to the reader that, oh yeah, like I know feudalism, okay? I know the ins and outs of it. And how will we know? It's because we have studied. Okay, it's because we have studied. All right. Every FRQ that we're going to be doing, I usually give you the major topics you need to study and stuff, so you go back and review that. Okay. All right. So just don't copy directly, please. Just add in stuff that you don't have. Okay. 5 seconds. Next sentence is going to be the where and when. Okay. Feudalism first developed in Western Europe. If you put France, that's cool. England, that's cool. Okay. Time matters, okay? Time matters, okay? Good. That's pretty straightforward. Next, who? How many of us put Charles Martel down in our note section? All right, good, 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 okay? That's one big name. The hammer, right? So if you are going to write a real one, remember I said I want at least 2 to 3 big names that you just name drop, okay? You know, Chaucer, right? Okay, Dante, okay? So make sure you know these guys. Don't just be like, oh, I know history, but I don't really know the people. Like, nah, the people matter, okay? All right, I included the people groups, included the lords. I talked about the knights a little bit. If I want to talk about the serfs, talk about the serfs as well too, okay? Then the hard sentence, which is the why, okay? The disorder and chaos that followed the collapse of the Carolingian authority due to attacks by Vikings and Muslim invaders made feudalism necessary. Right? So we're asking why is it necessary? It was only through a cooperation of nobles and monarchs to provide protection from the invaders and could be fought off. Okay, so I'm explaining what the heck is feudalism, right? Who's involved? When did it start? How did it even happen? Why did it even happen? Oh, okay, okay, okay. So that's kind of yeah. I remember the invasions, right? They got to protect themselves. Okay, that's a system that works, all right, more or less, okay, 5 seconds. Your why may be a little bit tricky, it might be a little bit hard, but more or less you should be okay if you really studied, okay? All right, so comes to our thesis. Anyone get to the thesis? Anyone? Yeah, a couple? Awesome, awesome, okay. If you look down at the bottom of this sheet again, okay, it says, make sure, okay, your thesis always, in your thesis, always use all the prompt terms. And so this is my example, okay? My thesis is extremely straightforward. It is not a complex thesis, and the reason being is because you don't have time for that. You don't have time, like, oh, how can I word this to make it really compelling? Like, it doesn't matter, okay? You don't get brownie points for having a really compelling thesis when you don't complete your essay. Okay, I mean, if you are able to complete your essay, then okay, fine. That's really fine. But most of the time, you don't have time to really think through to write a complex thesis. So what do? Be straightforward, okay? Am I avoiding the prompt in any way in my thesis? Absolutely not, because I am using the prompt terms. I'm directly referring back to the prompt, okay? Mr. Wood, your thing says, do not just restate the prompt, though. I understand. I did not just restate the prompt. I am including prompt terms, but then I am giving my arguments, 1, 2, 3, also known as my groupings, okay? So if you see at the very bottom, it says this groupings, this is the most challenging part of the essays. Think critically, this will make or break your essay. It really is important, okay? So if you have really weird or just bad groupings, okay, you can expect that all of your supporting facts are going to support a bad idea, okay? And so it says at the very bottom, practice makes progress, okay, good. It's going to start off, it's going to taste nasty, but we'll get there, okay? We got to start from somewhere, and this is what we're going to do, all right? So if we were to find 3 groupings based upon our notes and our thoughts, okay, anyone have any groupings that they want to share? No? Yeah, Faison. Okay, return of towns is one grouping. Give me another one, anyone? Hassan? Currency coming back. The comeback of currency. Sounds good, yeah.
Professional mercenaries.
Okay, mercenaries could be one, yeah.
The rise of monarch's power.
Okay, rise of monarch's power, yeah, Tyler. Okay, new weapons. So here's the thing, okay? We listed more than 3, right? Which means that there isn't an exact, absolute answer of how are you going to respond to the prompts. There could be multiple groupings. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is that if you're able to use your supporting evidence, your facts, to justify why does your groupings make sense. Why do your groupings respond to the prompt completely? If you can prove that with facts, you're good. If you don't got the facts to back it up, you got nothing. Yeah? Okay? So I don't care what you really choose for groupings, but there are some better ones and there are some worse ones. Okay? But like I'm saying, there isn't the exact 3. Okay? There's probably 3 that I would think work really well. Yours may change from mine. Okay? Here are mine. Okay? The factors that contributed to the decline of feudalism related to the return of towns and money economy, the shift in military methods, and the rise of feudal monarchs, or medieval monarchs, same thing. Okay, so these are my 3. Don't copy mine exactly. Think about yours, okay? I know you're like, oh, but I just want to use those, okay? Okay, Faison separated towns, right? Then Hassan, he put money in his own. That is fine. I put them together. You can separate them as long as you feel like you can adequately support each one. Each one represents one body paragraph, right? This is very similar to Jane Schaefer. It's just that this is a lot more refined and specific. There's nothing flowery about it. There's nothing beautiful about it because no one cares, right? Honestly, the grader only wants to know, do you understand the prompts? Do you have the content knowledge to explain your understanding and show your understanding? Okay, and then you will communicate that in a full essay. Okay, like I said, because you just sound, you know, like you worded it really well, if you have wrong facts, that's going to hurt you more than anything, okay? All right, so any questions so far here? Remember, you can have different groupings, okay? No one in this room is going to think exactly alike, okay? The main idea is that you are confident in saying, yeah, these are my groupings, these are my supporting facts, let's do this, okay? Let's move onward. Quickly, I want to give a different type of example before we get into this feudalism thing, because I think it might help you relate to a bit on a more personal level, okay? So if I give you a different prompt, don't you write this down, okay? Prompt is identify the factors that contributed to the level of academic achievement of Walnut High from 2004-2014, okay? Sounds rather similar, right? But if you're given a prompt, you got to think through it. You got to pull it out, okay? So this is my thesis. This is my thesis, okay? The factors that contributed to the level of academic achievement of Walnut High from 2004-2014 were the accessibility of information, the rigor of AP and IB courses, and the emphasis of exam prep. Okay, those are my 3 groupings, okay? Can we flip over this page, please? Flip it over to the 3 body paragraphs on the back, okay? Now that you have understood, this is a prompt, this is a thesis, this is how we tackle a prompt to write a thesis. Now, our body paragraphs will reflect our thesis, okay? For each of my body paragraphs, I'm taking these colored topics, okay? I'm taking the colored topics and making those the main idea, right? The main argument of each body paragraph. So, let's go ahead and read these bullet points really quickly, okay? Actually, you know what? I think it's faster if I read through it and you just follow along, okay? Just because we're short on time. We're going to go through this, okay? So first, you need a topic sentence. Okay, I'll show you an example of a topic sentence. It's going to be very straightforward, and it comes straight from the thesis. Nothing special, okay? Why? No time. No time, straightforward, get to it, okay? Secondly, okay, make sure you start with the most important argument. If I believe that accessibility of information, okay, is my strongest argument, I put that first in my thesis, and I put that as my first body paragraph. Okay, we go from strongest to weakest. All right, do that in that order. Trust me. Okay. Next, I mentioned that already. Okay, here we go. General structure of each body paragraph. As it says here, you will have a topic sentence. You will have your main idea, your arguments. Then you have a detailed example to support that. Then you will have your analysis to support and explain that fact that leads back to everything else. Okay, think as if you're writing an outline. Okay, we're going from the most general statement, generalizations, to the most specific facts. Okay, that's kind of how a body paragraph will be structured. Okay, let me just finish up. So you want to avoid a narrative and avoid chronology, meaning that do not tell me the story. Do not tell me, well, Walnut High School was created in 1965, and then in 1966 this happened, and in 1967 this happened, and 1968 this happened, and 1970 this happened. Like, those are all good facts, right? But you're not connecting it back to the prompt. So what, you can tell a story. So what, you know facts. You have to answer the prompts, okay? Do dates matter? Yes, they matter, but you can't just list out like this happened and this happened, this happened. I don't want to know that they lived happily ever after. That's not the point, okay? The point is answer the prompts, okay? All right, so concluding sentence. At the end of the paragraph, be sure to sum up the main points. Okay, you have to have a concluding sentence that wraps everything up really nicely. Okay, keep the reader focused. Yeah. Okay, you'll figure that out. Okay, don't exaggerate. It's really important. Be careful how you use absolute words. Okay, if you use the words all, always, or never, those are what we call absolute words. You are putting yourself in a box. And I'll say this: in history, nothing is absolute. Okay, there's always going to be things that kind of, break the rule, and it's going to be an exception. So you can say, don't say all middle-class people were richer than the nobility. Okay, don't say that. Say instead, most of the middle-class people became richer than the nobility. Okay, by saying most, you're not binding yourself to a false statements, and you actually show some validity, right? Or some, or many, right? Okay, don't use all, always, or never. That's way too absolute. That's very dangerous. Okay. If you start a new paragraph, make sure you reuse prompt terms. Okay, your thesis will show you what the prompt terms are. Obviously, you know that it's all from the prompt. Okay, weaker arguments and essay are good. Okay, any questions on the bullet points? This kind of stuff I already mentioned more or less, but that's very clear of what should be there. Okay. All right, so I'm taking my first argument, which is accessibility of information. Okay, and then I'm showing you now, okay, of how it's going to be laid out. When I said it's kind of like an outline format, just think about more general to more specific, right? You're starting off with the general idea, that's your thesis. Then you have your main idea in the body paragraph, right? Body paragraph, right? Topic sentence, body paragraph, and then your main idea, and then you have your supporting details, and then you have in-depth analysis. I put CDECM up here because it's very similar to James Schaefer, as I said, but it's not exactly the same. Okay, it's not like, oh, 1 CD, 2 CMs. Okay, it's not like that, right? If anything, you can meld these together, and that's cool. It really is fine, right? But the idea is that you need to have all these elements in order to make one complete body paragraph. All right? So far, so good. Here's my example, okay? The most important factor that contributed to Walnut High's level of academic achievement from 2004 to 2014, dates matter, right? If it was 1965 to 1979, that would change, right? Was the accessibility of information. That's my topic sentence, okay? Now, I'm going to put in all the other stuff to support that topic sentence. Okay, I believe that the internet boom is my main idea. I'm going to go through this main argument to support the accessibility of information. Okay, then I have all of these CDs or supporting facts. Okay, I have that homework assignments and projects require internet. Educational sites begin booming up, right? And then you have social media, and that allows us to really be connected with what's happening around us. You know, you have push notifications and stuff. You don't even need to open the app, okay? These are my facts that I think really support accessibility of information. All right? Okay, and this is another fact too, okay? It's a different fact. Student population, access to internet. At Walnut, I would say 90% of people have access to internet, whereas you go to places, you know, in the inner city, they only have 30%. It's a big difference, right? So I think it's a valid fact. So all this stuff is supporting the topic sentence. So far, so good? Anyone lost? Okay, so Let's shift over to feudalism, okay? In the same way, this is my topic sentence, okay? And then this is my main idea. My main idea is that, hey, manorialism needs to be explained to my reader. I need to, make sure that they know what I'm talking about, right? This is how it was. This is the main idea. But it's going to change, okay? Because money's going to come in. And then towns are going to develop, right? And so we're shifting away from the manor and we're shifting towards towns. So I need to show that this is what is leading to the decline. Okay, I have my main idea. Now I have my facts to support it. And I'm using my analysis to then explain and fill in the gaps, fill in the holes, okay? So these are my supporting facts. This is kind of the rough outline that I'm kind of talking about when I say, oh, when you think of decline of feudalism, what comes to mind? Boom, 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 boom. You knock it out like that. Okay? Does anyone have any questions about the facts I'm using? Does it look familiar? Hopefully so. Okay? Here comes a body paragraph as an example. Okay? Do not copy it down because you got to write your own. Here we go. A major factor that led to the decline of feudalism was the return of towns and a money economy. Under feudalism, all life revolved around the feudal manor estate where there was no trade. The economic system of manorialism based on the labor of serfs enabled self-sufficient living at the local level. During the High Middle Ages, town life based on a money economy returned, especially in the northern Italian city-states that enabled long-distance trade with the Middle East. Population levels were increasing due to a surplus of food, and so the number of towns grew accordingly. Towns and the revival of currency led to the decline and feudal and manorial system of self-sufficiency, as skilled workers could make a living outside of the manor. Towns also saw a new middle class and the urban poor develop that ended the rigid two-class system of feudalism. Money also weakened the feudal system's use of knights by paying professional soldiers. Instead, the return of towns and a money economy were social and economic factors that contrasted and led to the decline of the feudal system. Wow, okay? Punch it out. That's what we got to do in time, okay? Now, mine is obviously an example that I was not pressed for time, and so I was very thorough and stuff, right? But this is the goal. This really is the goal. We got to be thorough. We got to put out facts. We really got to answer the prompt, okay? And about halfway is when I started shifting from just describing feudalism, describing manorialism, and now I'm saying, but it's changing, and it has declined. Okay, you got to make that shift happen, okay? All right, any questions so far? I know I'm going a little fast. I am recording this, so I'll just put it up online for you guys to look at tonight, okay? Your homework tonight is this. You are going to finish, okay, your own intro paragraph, which is not too hard because you have this top section information, right? So we're just plug and play down in the intro area, okay? Then, okay, based upon your groupings in your thesis, you are going to make sure that you are able to complete your first and second body paragraph to the best of your ability. It does not need to be like all-star, right? But the main idea is you're thinking, you're writing, you're taking your time to do it, you're being thorough in your facts, okay? And ultimately, you are responding to the prompts. You're answering the prompts, okay? Make sure you have a proper topic sentence. Make sure your topic sentence matches your thesis, all right? And then we'll come back tomorrow and take a look at some of these. All right, any questions? Okay, so I know this is like, oh wow, like do I have to write that much? You don't have to write as much as this, okay? You don't have to. But just understand, in an FRQ, you want to write as much as possible, okay? And also your groupings do not need to match mine perfectly, right? It's up to you how you back up your groupings with your facts.